Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Delta Corporation's Q2FY22 Earnings Conference Call hosted by Antique Stock Broking. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Alpesh Thakkar. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Stephen. Hello, everyone, and welcome to second quarter FY22 investor conference call of Deltacorp Limited. Today we have with us the management of Deltacorp represented by Mr. Hardik Debar, Chief Financial Officer of the company. The format of the discussion would be brief opening remarks by the management followed by Q&A session. Without much ado, let me hand over the call to Mr. Debar. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Alpesh. Thank you very much for hosting this call for the quarter 2 results. First of all, I hope everyone on the call is all hale, hearty and fine and everyone's families are also all safe and secure. Given these uncertain times, I think that is the most important thing today. With regards to the business, we are very happy to share with all of you that effective the month of September predominantly, all our casinos across Goa, Sikkim and Nepal have now become operational. And we are witnessing a trajectory, we are witnessing the traction, we are witnessing a run rate which is almost the pre-COVID numbers and slightly, even in fact, slightly better than what we were. Having said that, giving you a little bit more details about these facts, Nepal, Sikkim was the casino which opened the first amongst everything else, which around the 16th of August we commenced operations of our Sikkim casino. So for the quarter, we have had about 40 days of operations to be precise. Then Nepal became operational on about 8th of September. So we have had about 22 days of operations for the Nepal casino. And our largest, the lion's share of business which comes from Goa, Goa became operational on the 20th of September. So we have about 10 days of operations in the quarter for Goa. Having said that, there are a few highlights as far as the numbers are concerned. Sikkim per se has been a big revelation. It has, from the time that it commenced operations, you know, the traction and the trajectory that we have witnessed. Obviously, one could attribute some of it to the fact that Sikkim was the only gaming destination that was accessible at that point of time to Indians, and therefore we would have seen some unprecedented traction. But what we are seeing after even Goa opening up, the numbers are much better than what we were doing on a standard basis in the financial years 2019-20. So that gives us a great comfort and great confidence to say that Sikkim is now on the growth trajectory and will start contributing much larger. Just to give you a perspective, in 1920, Sikkim would have done a top line of about anywhere between 16 to 18 crores. As against that, in this quarter alone, Sikkim has contributed 16 crores, and we are continuing with a decent trajectory into the month of October, which is very, very heartening and very, very comforting. Nepal, as you all know, we commenced operations of the Nepal casino somewhere in February 2020, and in about 15-20 days from there, the world was hit with a pandemic. Nepal went into a lockdown, and Nepal there was a much stricter lockdown as compared to the other places, and there were no operations till on 8th of September when we reopened our casino. Is when we actually began operations for the very first time, so to say. And in the 22 days that we have operated, it is again very, very reassuring that we have been able to clock a revenue of close to about 4.25 crores. Given that it's a new market, it's an uncharted territory for us. While we had a strong belief in the Nepal market, and we believe that this could be a great market going forward, it could be developed into a great destination. I think the first 20 days of operations giving a 4 crore kind of a number in terms of revenue is again reassuring and giving us confidence that our judgment on Nepal doesn't seem to be wrong. And we should start seeing larger contributions coming in from Nepal along the way. Coming to Goa, which obviously is the main, main share of the business, the lion's share of the business, as we say, in the 10 days of operations. Just to give you a perspective, in the first quarter, we had the month of April where we operated for, I think, about 29 days. And then on the 30th of April, we were asked to shut because of the second wave of pandemic. In the whole 1 month, we had done about 24 crores. It was a slow month, so to say. But having said that, despite being a slow month or whatever it may be, in the 10 days of the September operations, we have been able to do an equal number of revenue, which is 22 crores roughly, which basically indicates to the trend and the trajectory that we can expect on full-fledged operations, or rather full 3 months of operations if we get. And basing these on these trends, we are very, very confident that given that October, November, December is the best season as far as Goa is concerned from a tourist perspective, and right from October all the way up to March, you see a lot of footfalls and a lot of visitations happening into Goa. While the casino and the gaming business per se is acyclical, but obviously larger number of people visiting the state is always going to help the business in terms of attracting more people. Thankfully, I also just was reading some news, and I saw a news flash saying that starting October 18th, even the domestic flying restrictions that were there on the flight capacity have been kind of done away with by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. So you will have the normal air traffic happening. So we believe that, the footfalls and the visitations into Goa in the coming season should be very, very promising. And that also gives us further reassurance that we could see, pre-COVID levels or better than pre-COVID levels in terms of our revenue that we could clock going forward in the quarter. With regards to the hospitality business, like everyone knows, hospitality is more a complementing business as far as Goa is concerned. The hotel wasn't even operational for a large part of the time. And since it basically caters to our casino guests, since there was dearth of the casino guests coming into Goa till very recently, the Goa hotel operations are just about picking up, and they will start hopefully doing well in the quarter of October to December. As regards Daman is concerned, Daman has been operational and is back to contributing at the EBITDA level, which is what it used to do in the pre-COVID era. And we are very happy that they are back in the business and are demonstrating decent performance and business resilience. With regards to online, I'll spend a couple of minutes on the online play. In the last 2 years, or rather from 2020 and in the current year, 2021 and the current financial year, what has happened is we saw a little bit of up and down when it comes to how the online businesses behaved. And why I say that is because in the quarter of April 20 to June 20, when the lockdown was at its peak and it was the strictest of lockdowns that any country would have seen, most online platforms, including ours, Adda 52, saw a very abnormal spike. It was an aberration, so to say, now that we can say when we have seen things normalize. And we saw some unprecedented numbers that we clocked in that quarter of April 20 to June 20. However, from July 20 onwards, things started easing off and businesses started opening up over a period of time. And, a lot of people started going back to their other activities, and there we saw a tapering down effect on the revenue as far as the online space is concerned, which is something that happened with the entire industry. And Adda obviously is a part of the industry, so Adda also had that kind of tapering effect that we saw. Having said that, what we utilized this 18-20 months of the hard period that we had is we used this time to develop a very, very good and a very, very robust backend system, a very good and robust human asset that we have now, or a human team that we have who's running the business. We have a full-fledged CEO who's taken charge. His name is Mr. Shivanandan Pare. In addition to that, we have a new chief technology officer, a new head of business, a new head of market intelligence, a lot of things that we have put in place, a lot of things we have streamlined in terms of the platform. In addition to that, we also redid our Rummy vertical and refocused on the Rummy vertical And also very recently, about 6 months ago, we have launched our multi-gaming platform called Adda Games. Now what we have also done is we have kind of dovetailed the Rummy business into the Adda Games, not as a standalone vertical which it was operating. And we believe that both Adda Games and Rummy is going to act as, or the multi-gaming platform along with Rummy is going to act as a funnel to basically attract and get more and mass registrations and on the site. And through that funnel, we would be able to kind of get traffic onto the poker website, because poker is a very unique game, unlike the mass attracting games like the fantasy and the call breaks and the Rummy of the likes. Poker is a little bit of a niche area which needs education, which needs a little more penetration and a little more deep diving required before you can get a decent chunk of people willing to play poker. So like I said, the fantasy platform, the multi-gaming platform, the Rummy platform, which is dovetailed into Adda Games, is going to act as a funnel to bring in the crowd. And even if a small percentage of that large crowd that we hope to achieve that we hope to attract, and even if a small percentage of that gets diverted onto playing poker, then the revenue and the profitability of the business would be coming back, and it would be robust. Like I said, we are highly poker focused. We continue to remain poker focused. At the same time, we are now investing and trying to grow the multi-gaming platform along with the Rummy platform. As regards the Daman court case, the matter is with the Bombay High Court, and by 30th of September, the administration of Union Territory of Daman was to respond to our petition, which hasn't happened, but we are now told that we will be getting a date from the court very soon, and we believe and hope that the hearing on the matter will start. As regards the legal standing on the case is concerned, we continue to be very positive, as we believe and as we have been advised that we have a strong, legally very strong case, and we are confident that we should have a good and positive outcome. With regards to two other things which are very important from a Delta perspective, not in the very immediate near future, but in a slightly medium term, and then one is a slightly longer term. One is obviously the medium term one is the new ship that we are building. We are building a large new vessel to replace our smaller vessel, the Delta Caravella. The vessel should be ready somewhere between December 22 and by December 22, latest by March 23 is when we believe that the new vessel should be ready. The new vessel currently is being built in Udupi by the same shipyard which helped us build Delta Jack. And the ship is being built to customization and specification to meet the requirements of a proper casino vessel. Having said that, that will take care of the kind of growth and the capacity constraints that one may start facing in the next 12 to 16 months time, because the new vessel which will come in, the size of the vessel would be equivalent to or slightly more than all our existing current capacity of all the three vessels put together. So that basically means that our capacity also will probably be more than double in that duration, which obviously gives us a horizon to grow for the next few years till we reach our larger project on land, which is the Delta Entertainment City, which is being developed on the 100-acre parcel that we have bought near the Goa airport. In December 2020, the parcel has been granted an investment promotion board in principle approval. We are awaiting the final approval from the from the government, designating it as an investment promotion area, which basically will help us to be a single window clearance project, thereby easing off a lot of pressure and cutting on a lot of time, loss of time on account of getting multiple approvals and multiple permissions from various authorities. Having said that, we are in advanced stages of doing a complete modeling in terms of what are the type of assets that are going to be created. While we know the broad asset classes, but what exactly is going to come in that Delta city, what hotels, how many hotel rooms, exact numbers, what kind of retail, what kind of restaurants, bars, what water parks, etc., is all that is in the final stages of planning, and we hope that by November, December, we should have a full-fledged plan ready to be rolled out, to be shared with shared with the investor community as well as the media and the stock exchanges, etc. And by then we are very confident that the final approval from the Investment Promotion Authority also would be there in place, which will help us to kickstart the project. Once we kickstart the project, we believe that it will take us anywhere between 42 to 48 months to complete the project. With regards that's with regards to the long-term vision. This will be both the new projects that I mentioned about the vessel as well as the Delta Entertainment City that we are going to create are something which is going to take Delta into the next level and the next league, because the shift will take care of the traffic and the growth and the constraints, if any, that would have been faced as far as the offshore casinos are concerned. And the entertainment city will take us into the future, and we believe and we hope that that would be a game-changing experience as far as Delta is concerned. With these opening remarks, I would like to keep the floor open, let the floor be open for any question answers from the participants on the investing community if they have any, and I'll be happy to answer them to the best of my ability.
Thank you very much, sir. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Manish Ostwal from Nirmal Bang. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity, sir. My first question on your comment around the December quarter will reach pre-COVID or even better than that. So in terms of cost saving, which we have, last 18 to 20 months, we have achieved in certain aspect of the business because of pandemic. So, sir, how do you see the operating cost saving impact on the operating margin from a pre-COVID levels to these measures? So any material impact do you see, or those impacts are not there?
So basically, Manish, whatever measures were there, they were not measures that were done out of choice. They were forced measures sort of situations, asking the people across all rank and file to take a salary cut is not something that we do out of choice, but we had to do it. Obviously, when you are not operational, the fuel and the operating costs also are going to go down. So some of these costs are definitely going to come back. But fortunately, like I said, we are going to be at pre-COVID levels or slightly better than pre-COVID levels. The growth on the top line will be more than sufficient, and it will be more than robust to compensate for these cost increases, so to say. And I would not call them cost increases. I would say going back to the normal cost levels. And therefore, I don't see any margin compression happening. We should, if not better, we should at least be at the pre-COVID levels of margins. And I don't see a reason why we should be worried about any margin compression at this point of time.
Secondly, sir, your comment on long-term vision for the company, the Delta Entertainment City or new vessel. So after, one is what is the total capital outlay we are envisaged for these two projects, number one, and secondly, after the completion of these projects, where do you see the Delta casino business vis-a-vis Singapore or global benchmark? Where do you see that thing? Can you comment qualitative and numerical terms? Thank you.
Let me answer the second part first, because that's easier. Not that the first part is difficult. But the second part, I don't think even after we create the Delta Entertainment City, in terms of size, we would still be a mini Genting. I don't think we could compare to a Las Vegas or a Genting or a Singapore size of casino, because those are 300, 400, 500,000 square foot casinos. So we'll still be comparatively smaller. But from an India perspective, and I think from the region as an Indian subcontinent perspective, we will be by far the largest gaming facility available in the Indian subcontinent, and which I think would be a to-go destination and a must-do thing as far as Goa and India is concerned. So in terms of size, we'll still be smaller than the Singapores and the Gentings and the Macaus of the world. I have no doubts in that. But I think we are slowly but surely growing in size and trying to achieve a world scale sooner rather than later. Coming to the capital expenditure requirements, as far as the vessel is concerned, the vessel should cost us anywhere between 250 to 270 crores. And on the Delta Entertainment City, the total project outlay would be anywhere between 15 to 1700 crores. So totally, we are looking at between both the projects about 2000 crores. We currently, as Deltacorp, are sitting on about 400 crores of cash. Like I was explaining to somebody the other day, that even if I go back to the pre-COVID levels and I start doing an EBITDA of 350 crores, which gives me about 1400 crores over 4 years, and 400 crores is about 1800 crores. That is good enough for us to complete all our projects, both the ship as well as the Delta Entertainment City, without borrowing a single rupee from outside. So Delta continues to be a debt-free company. Having said that, there are a few other activities that are lined up. We have a land in Sri Lanka which we are looking to sell off. Now again, there the market is picking up, and we have started getting some inquiries or sorts as far as that land is concerned. That should free about 35-40 crores. We have a small development in Goa, which we had bought the land originally for building a hotel. Finally, we ended up buying a ready hotel. Therefore, that land became available. So we are developing that and selling it off. That should free up about 140 crores of cash flow. That makes it 140 plus 40 is about 180. And then we have our investment in Advani Hotels, which we've always maintained that it is up for sale. That should at least fetch us 125, 130 crores. So that makes it about 300 odd crores of cash that will be available only out of monetization of these assets. All that put together, we should be fairly liquid and debt-free even after having completed both these projects, both the vessel as well as the Delta Entertainment City.
So in between, there is no plan of equity raise or dilution of online business, because some media report says that we are planning to raise. So can you clarify our position on that?
That is purely whatever we are trying to do on the online piece is purely focused and dedicated to the online gaming play. So even if there is an equity raise, which we are planning to do, it will be in the subsidiary and not at the Delta level. And the other thing is that we would, like I said today morning on one of the news channels, that every opportunity to unlock shareholder value and create value for the shareholders, whether it is through organic, inorganic way, we will explore all possible options to unlock value for the shareholders as far as the online gaming business is concerned.
Thank you, Hardik, and I really appreciate the not equity dilution during the pandemic year. So compliments to the entire management team of Deltacorp. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pritesh Chheda from Lucky Investment. Please go ahead.
Sir, I have just one question from the capacity perspective. So what we have the capacity today in terms of the ships, and when we were doing a 200 crore odd run rate, what would have been the utilization in terms of the footfall, or is there any extra gaming positions that we can put up on the existing ships that we have in order to help us understand the capacity much better?
So there is no, as of now, there is no capacity constraint. There are a few days or a few weekends here and there where we have capacity constraint. Otherwise, we still have capacity to cater to our clientele who visit the casino. And when we were clocking in 200 crores a quarter, we have not faced the capacity constraint. Having said that, preempting a situation a couple of years in the future, 12, 14, 15, 16 months in the future, we have already embarked on the project of building a new vessel and bringing it into the river in time for any sort of capacity constraint creeping in. So we are very confident that we should not have a capacity constraint issue anywhere in the near future, which will hamper our growth or be any constraint as far as we are concerned. There are no additional gaming positions that we have currently thought of adding to our current vessels, but we have the capabilities to add more gaming positions if and so required. And if there is demand, we can convert and we can add more gaming positions as well.
Okay. So the question was, you can add more gaming positions on the same vessel, and at 200 crore run rate, when you were doing the 200 crore run rate, what would be your capacity utilization at that time?
I don't think, Pritesh, you have been a very regular on the calls as well as you understand the business a little better also than most of the people. This is not a business where you look at capacity and capacity utilization, because it's a question of what kind of people and what kind of players that you get on a given day or a given night. So currently we have a issue on the capacity where we can't go full up. What we are doing is we are focusing more on our club built-in members and our regulars who basically have a larger gross gaming revenue per person as against what I would have done on a normal day when I would have 40, 50, 60% people who are walk-ins, and then the balance 20, 30% who would be my regulars and club built-in members. Now I'm focusing more on those, basically trying to maximize whatever I can by terms of compensating value for volume. Having said that, out of about 2,000 gaming positions that we have, the peak that we would have gone to, the average occupancy has been about 1,200 people a night. So that's about 60-70% of occupancy that we were doing. If that helps you.
Yeah, this helps, because I had a 1,100 footfall number with me. So I was just wondering what kind of maximum footfall that you can support. This was very helpful, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Viraj Mehta from Equitas PMS. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. First of all, congratulations for brilliant performance of the business in limited time that we had. Wanted to understand 2-3 specific things. One, the kind of uptick that you are seeing, like when you talk about Sikkim, you are seeing revenues which are like 4-folds. Is it because the per person ticket size has increased? Because you have been in the AGM, you specifically mentioned, sorry, Mr. Modi specifically mentioned that we have not changed the prices. So how has this, spend per person gone up so significantly?
So I think you have
not gone up.
No, so you're mixing the two things. Sikkim never had any price or entry ticket or a price. So Sikkim is completely different from what you are now trying to mix with the entry price and stuff like that. So let us understand and address the context correctly. Sikkim, like I said, when it opened up, was the only destination or only gaming destination that was opened and accessible. So therefore, people from all over the country who probably would not have in normal course gone to Sikkim started going to Sikkim in the last 40-45 days. And that trend we are seeing continuing. Having said that, there is no question of any entry fee. There is no question of any, charges that we were collecting as far as the Sikkim casino is concerned. And because the footfalls were better, because the visitations were higher, and we have seen the numbers grow over a period of time. Like I also mentioned, that with Goa opening up, we also believe that this trajectory of 4-fold, 5-fold growth that we have seen, what we did in the full year happening in 40 days, that is not going to continue. It will taper down, but it is always observed that whenever there is a breakout, the base is a new high by itself, and it starts from there on. So, if I was doing 1 crore and 25 lakhs a month earlier, I may end up doing about 3 crores a month now, because then people have started liking Sikkim, people start going to Sikkim more frequently, and therefore I may start doing 3 crores a month. But that's a huge jump, almost 100% jump if you look at it that way. If I was doing 18 crores a year, start doing 36 crores a year, it's a 100% jump. But that the time will tell where we are going to settle at.
Sure.
Coming to the per person spend or the revenue or anything, again, from in a larger scheme of things, the gate receipt never contributed more than 10-12% of our revenue in any case. So it was never the mainstay of the business. It was always the gaming spends by the people that was the mainstay of the business. I just now explained that today we have to compensate value for volume, and therefore rather than trying to attract more visitations, because I have the constraint, I cannot take everybody who wants to come on board. I would rather pick and choose my clientele. I'd rather pick and choose my customer, and therefore my focus is more on my club built-in members, my loyalty program members, my regulars, whose average spend was always ranging anywhere between 25,000 rupees a person to maybe 50,000, 100,000 rupees a person. And that is the kind of people that I'm trying to more attract. So that it basically compensates for the volume loss that I may end up having because of the COVID constraints.
Sure. Thank you. That was a very elaborate answer. Second, what I wanted to understand is on the online business. You also mentioned in your opening remarks that, we saw a large revenue last year, which obviously tapered out over a period of time. But since the time we have bought Adda, we seem to have stagnated, especially over the last couple of years, over a number that we are doing. And also kind of, till you mentioned that we have hired a new CEO and the CTO for it, we also got a sense somewhere, at least last year, that we were not too keen over pursuing this business very aggressively. Has that stance from the management changed as such?
I don't think we have ever given any vibes that we are not willing to pursue this business aggressively. We are poker focused, and one has to also understand the stagnation or whatever you may be seeing is on two accounts. One, obviously, there was a change of management, change of team happening, and when there is a change of guard happening, the founders left, the new CEO came in, he could not settle, he left, there's a new CEO now. So obviously that is going to unruffle a few things, and it's not going to be easy for things to go back onto the growth trajectory. Having said that, we are when I say poker is a niche business, poker is not like the fantasies and the rummies of the world where you have every person on the street who can start playing poker overnight. He needs to learn the game, he needs to be educated, he needs to understand the game. Only then, and then has to get excited about the game, and then gets attached with the game, and then he'll start playing regularly. Therefore, the effort is to, with the help of the fantasy and the other skill games like Rummy and Call Break and other things, we are trying to attract more and more people to come onto the platform and then expose them to poker and see and hope and believe that a few percentage points out of that will definitely turn towards poker, and that will give us the growth and the revenue and the profitability in the overall business. So, trying to say that there is stagnation, yes, there is stagnation. There is no denying it. In fact, even in the current year, we have seen that stagnation happening. But there are reasons for it. And why is the stagnation? That needs to be understood. One, there was a change of guard. We have a new team. We were rejigging the entire portfolio. We are rejigging and rebranding and refocusing on the businesses. And we are back. And we'll continue to do whatever is best for the business and whatever is best for the shareholders.
Sure. Thank you. And last question is, you give some sense of the trends that we are seeing, especially in the Goa casino. Are we seeing continuation of the trends that we saw last quarter going forward?
Well, we had only 10 days, so, there was no quarter as such. But yeah, I can fairly say that we are seeing a very strong trend, which is akin to the pre-COVID levels or slightly better than the pre-COVID levels at all our properties.
Thanks a lot, Hardik, and best of luck for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Tarbir Shahapuri from Nidara. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. I have two questions. The first one is that we have been providing for some license fees during the last year or so when the casinos are shut. Now, what is the status going to be on that? Will that not reflect in the cash flow? Obviously, we haven't paid that. So how are we going to account for that now going ahead? That's the first one.
Yeah, they are already accounted for in the P&L. So last year's P&L has been debited by 56 crores of unpaid license fees, which has been accounted for, and it's already there in the books of accounts. For the current year, there is for the 6 months, there's a 36 crore license fee that has been provided, of which about 24 crores remains unpaid because we operated for 1 month and paid for that period, and after that we haven't paid anything. So about 24 crores in the current year and 56 crores of last year. So about 80 crores worth of license fees is something which has been already provided in the books but not paid for. As far as the stance is concerned, we have a representation pending with the government seeking a waiver or reduction or doing some giving us some relief on the license fee for the times that we have not operated. The government has not come back on it, but has neither demanded any fee for that period. So we will wait for the government to come out with a clear guidelines and directions on that front. As far as we are concerned, that is already reflecting the worst case scenario position as if the fees are supposed to be paid. and they have already been provided for.
No, fair enough. I was more. My question was more regarding the cash balance anyway. That's fine. So it's an 80 crore adjustment that may or may not happen. We don't know that right now. Perfect. My second question to you is, sir, I mean, what was the business mix pre-corona during the last, 40 odd days, and what do you foresee in the next, couple of quarters of the high rollers versus the mass gamers?
We have never been a high roller. See, first of all, you need to understand that we have been more middle income, walk-in kind of a family entertainment destination. We are not somebody who attracts the so-called high rollers. And again, high roller definition for the world in the world of casino is very different for the world as far as the world is concerned, and it is very different when it comes to India. Having said that, yes, we do focus. Like I was just explaining to somebody on my previous answer, that we are definitely focusing on high spenders, and I will not call them high rollers because these are people who spend more, who are, the higher middle income, slightly higher income groups, who are our Club Deltin members and loyalty program members, and they spend enough to give us the nice sweet spot of revenue. And we even in the pre-COVID era, our dependency on the high rolling community was anywhere between 7, 8, 9%. We are never highly dependent on the high rolling community. It was predominantly focused on the walk-in customers earlier, which is now getting replaced given the constraints and given the current situation. It's now we are focusing it on our Club Deltin and loyalty program members.
Okay, so I will reframe my question then. Pre-corona, what do you think, or if you have, or you can share the number, was the business, the customers increasing or customers over 25,000 rupees spend, as opposed to where do you see that going ahead?
So I think the overall, if everybody starts doing well, the gross gaming revenue is bound to increase. It's a question of changing the mix of my customers. My gross gaming revenue which I was reporting at 14,000 rupees, I can increase that gross gaming revenue in a multiple form and fashion. One, if I restrict my entry to only gamers and only my Club Deltin members, my average GGR is going to go higher. Secondly, if I change the minimums and maximums of the gaming bets that I have, again, it can have an positive impact on my gross gaming revenue. So there are multiple things that one can do to sustain and grow the gross gaming revenue per person.
No, sir, I understand. I think I'm trying to ask you a question. Like if you said 8% of your business was, for example, a high roller, as however you define it. What I'm trying to ask you is pre-corona, what percentage of the business was people?
I don't have that number ready. I can dig out that number and tell you exactly what that number was, because that's the bulk of the number.
Fair enough. And you're seeing the 14,000 average spend. Do you see that it trending upwards or staying the same going ahead?
So the 14,000 trending will only happen when I open my casinos to the fullest and start allowing the walk-ins and start allowing everybody to come in. Till then, we have always seen that improve year on year. When we started in 2008, my average gaming per GGR per person was 5,000 rupees. Today it is 14,000 rupees. So in 10 years it has gone up threefold. And it will increase. But, if GGR increases, the footfalls are going to come down. And if the footfalls increase, the GGRs are going to come down. They are inversely proportional to each other.
Fair enough. Okay, sir. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jignesh Kamani from GMO & Company. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. If you think about Deltin City, so hopefully next 5 years we will be ready with our online-based casino, and we will be moving our onshore casino to Deltin City. Then what?
No, Jignesh. Currently, the Deltin Paradise, the Deltin Entertainment City, what is going to come up as an electronic casino. So my offshore casino, 3 offshore casino will continue to operate, and I will have a large electronic casino. Again, when I say electronic casino, there is a very, very thin line between live and electronic, and a lot of you who have visited the casinos have seen it. So we'll have 5 casinos, to be honest. So we are not going to shut one for the other.
So at least for next 5-6 years, there's no plan to move land-based, you can say like casino.
No. I am not saying that. the policy is something very different from what has happened just now.
Agreed.
What we have got is an investment promotion zone certification and accreditation. We will continue to build our project. The Goa land policy or the Goa casino land policy is a completely different subject, which has been promised by the government on the floor of the house. As and when the government decides to roll that out, we will be obviously eligible for it, and we will have that policy up and running, and we will take advantage and benefit of that policy.
So the new vessel which we are planning to bring by the next December or March 23 will run for more than 5 to 7 years, assume, because there is no near term you can say plan to shift to the land-based based for the regulation, right?
Dinesh, I unless you know, and you know the Goa government more than I do or anybody does, I can't say whether we'll run for 5 years or 7 years. It may just happen that I get a new ship and 2 years down the line the policy changes. So I will give up one license, start a casino on land. I will give the second license, start a casino on land, and maybe I'll give up the third license and start a casino on land. So I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball to gaze into the future and tell you what is going to happen.
Understood. And just to understand the payback period for the vessel, it will be 1.5 years as we used to have in past, or it will be much higher payback period for this, considering the large size?
I think it should not be worse off because it's a larger vessel than everything that we have built and everything Goa has seen so far. I still believe that it will be the 12 months, 14 months kind of a payback that we can expect from the larger vessel.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bhavesh Patel from Patel Investments. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Hardik, and thanks for the opportunity. Really hope and wish you and the entire extended family of Deltacorp is in a great shape. And all the big thanks in terms of all the hard work in a difficult period as well. My question is around the same Delta Entertainment City, and you just answered that the land policy is different and it will come up, and when it come up, we will be in the best position to make the most of it. So that part is answered. The one bit which I'm still wanting your confirmation is, what about the final approval that you mentioned? Because I was under the impression that with the sharing on the exchanges, the entire project is cleared and investment promotion board has cleared everything, and we are there. So if you can throw some light on that, that would be helpful.
No, it's a mere formality. You are absolutely right, Bhavesh. The in-principle approval is already granted, which is what was shared on the stock exchanges and as required to be done. The final approval is awaited, but it's more of a formality because even the CM, who is a part of that committee, made a statement saying that the permission is kind of granted and approved. So it's a formality before we get the paper, but till you get it, you don't get it.
Sure.
Until it is in your hand, you don't have it. That's the case, and that's where I don't want to say that I have the permission till I actually see it in black and white and I have the approval letter in my hand.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. And again, I'm very, very excited and looking forward to the continued journey being as a long timer in terms of shareholding, as well as wishing all of us the very best. So thank you for all your effort. Best wishes.
Thank you, Bhavesh.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pratik Shetty, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, thanks for taking my question. So, end of September, I think I visited Goa and I had been to Delta Royal, so I've experienced the revival firsthand. It's great to see that. What I also observed is I'd gone there to play poker. So what I observed is basically I saw the Adda 52 branding on the poker table, but none of your staff actually tried to introduce me to the online platform. So neither me nor any of the other customers or the guests. So isn't there a conscious effort from the management to get your offline gamers introduced to probably the online gaming platform with probably a loyalty bonus or some kind of other marketing pull strategy? Secondly, a comment on the user experience on Adda 52. I find it to be quite basic, the app and pedestrian, compared to something like a Zynga poker. So, considering the kind of the cash balance and the this thing we have, strength that we have, we'd expect a better app from Deltacorp, right?
So Pratik, thank you very much. I will take the feedback on the app and I will pass it on to the operating team and the technical team, and we'll see if there is something that we can do to better the user experience and upgrade the app if there is anything found wanting or lacking in that. With regards to your other question on cross-branding, cross-promoting and cross-marketing the online on the offline bit, that activity was being carried out in the pre-pandemic times. I think the staff which was dedicated for that activity from the online piece of it, given the pandemic, everybody has gone back to the respective locations. Once things start getting normalized, you will have that activity back in full swing. But yeah, there is never a dearth or we don't miss an opportunity to try and promote our products and our brands and our platforms one for the other.
Understood, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mayur Gatani from OHM Group. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. Sir, just some updates on the GST news flow that came in yesterday, if you could throw some light.
That is some petition filed by somebody challenging or asking for clarity on coercive action and the computation and the GST liability, etc. The court has set aside that order by saying that no coercive action could be taken because there is already a group of ministers committee that has been formed to look at the methodology and the way GST is going to be implemented as far as the casinos and the online gaming is concerned, which basically means that the government is considering and is open to looking at the fair, real and the practical way things can be done. And that's, I think, a very positive in the overall scheme of things. As far as there is nothing as far as we are concerned to be worried about or bothered, because this is a matter which is 3 years old. We haven't heard back anything since then. There is no other communication from any department whatsoever.
Okay, great. So any clarity on that will help us clear the 3-year-old issue that had come up suddenly from nowhere.
But there is no issue. There is no issue, Mayur.
Yeah, I agree.
There is no issue.
I agree. There is no issue, sir. But just that there were news flow was such that the process or the way it is to be implemented was a question mark.
But now the clouds are getting
absolutely,
moving away, and we will have clarity soon.
My point was that only. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Manish Ostwal from Nirmal Bang. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Actually, my question has been answered. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vikas Atri, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, good evening. Thanks for the opportunity. So before I ask my question, I must mention that the management did a great job in acquiring the land for the Delton Entertainment City way in advance. So my question is, the management on multiple occasions mentioned that they would like to add another 50 acre to the existing 100 acre parcel. So what is the status on that?
We are looking for a conducive land parcel. If we get one which is at the right price with the right title and everything, we will look at the opportunity. But we are in no hurry, and if the right land and the right parcel at the right price with the right things comes across, we may consider it. But at this point of time, we are in no hurry because we have enough to not only develop this first phase that we are looking at, probably one more phase could be developed without having to add anything.
Okay. And sir, the phase 2 will be similar to phase 1 or that will be bigger in size?
I think we haven't even thought about what the phase 2 is going to look like at this point of time. So let's first focus on phase 1 and get that operational. We'll look at phase 2 a little later.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate your reply. Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Manish Dariwala from Fiducia Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, very good afternoon to the management. My question is basically regarding getting an understanding about the competitive landscape that you are experiencing now at Goa.
There is no change in the competitive landscape. The casinos, there are 6 offshore casinos, 3 owned and operated by us and 3 by competition. They are all operating. They are all doing fine. Our casinos are doing fine. So are the competition doing fine. and there is enough room for everyone to coexist and grow at the same time. So there is no change in the competitive landscape.
Okay, so there was basically the competition. It was pre-COVID, but then the competition had come out with some aggressive parlays, to basically grab market share. So my question was to understand how aggressive is the competition trying to grab the business vis-a-vis the Delton operations.
No, I think that was the euphoria of a new product launch. And
precisely.
You can't give freebies 24/7, 365 days a year, and they had to stop sometime and had to come up to same levels. They have all settled down. It's all business as normal now, and everyone's growing at their own pace now. So there is no. We are all competing with each other to try and grow our businesses, but I think, like I said, there is enough space for all of us to coexist because the market is so large. It is still so unpenetrated. Just to give you a perspective, the total visitations to Goa is a 1 crore visitors. In the pre-pandemic era, there are 1 crore visitors who used to come to Goa on an annual basis. As an industry, I don't think we attracted more than 10 lakh people a year. So, even from the existing people visiting Goa, there is so much opportunity to grow. I don't think there is going to be any worry to anybody that, this is competition and how this will happen or what will happen. I think there is enough room for everyone to coexist and grow.
Thank you. Yeah, that was all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anuj Sharma from M3 Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. My questions have been answered. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Viresh Sangwan, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Just wanted to understand when this land policy is announced and there is a process of moving the casinos, will that be in the entertainment city that we are currently planning, the 100 acres, or will it be a separate capital investment altogether?
In all probabilities, it will be in the same entertainment city. There is no plan of moving it anywhere else because this will be the investment promotion area, this will be the development zone, and this is where it will move. But I think for that, the land policy has to be spelled out, rolled out, and announced categorically, and then we'll take a decision on that.
Okay. Thanks. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mayur Gatani from OHM Group. Please go ahead.
Sir, on the land policy, have the competition also moved and bought land, or it is only Delta who has done the needful and bought 100 acres as of now? Have you seen some movement on the competition side?
There was a movement when people started looking at land parcels and started negotiating, but then the pandemic hit and everybody's gone into the back burner for now. So as of now, we are the only ones who have land.
Okay, fair. Fine, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Sahil Talwar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Thank you for taking my question. My question is regarding the buyback that was done during the COVID wave. We had allotted about 125 crores for the buyback, and eventually I don't think we were able to complete even half the amount. So I'd like to know why wasn't it done in a more meaningful manner?
I thought we gave the best price that we thought at that point of time, given the situation. We wanted to demonstrate that the company and the management is strongly behind the business, and we did it what the management thought was best for the business and best for the shareholders. Now, not getting a response or not getting adequate participation is not something that I can imagine or I can think of. It all depends on what the shareholders feel and what the shareholders think.
Right, sir. I understand. I understand it was a great move, and even the previous gentleman mentioned that we did not have to dilute any equity during the pandemic, and instead we did a buyback. So we have to, thank the management for it. But I think it could have been done in a more meaningful manner because there were times when there was a lot of stock available, and even then, having allotted that much amount of capital, we could hardly execute trades, I guess.
we had the capital available. If I don't get trades, what do I do, my friend?
Right, sir. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Yash Mandavewala from Mandavewala Family Office. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. I have a couple of questions on the online business. So, first of all, is this Karnataka issue? So, what are we doing there? Have we shut operations in Karnataka for online, and what's the share of revenue for the online business that comes from Karnataka? That's number one.
Karnataka obviously has been geo-blocked for now till there is any further direction from any court, because there is obviously this decision is going to be challenged like the Tamil Nadu decision was challenged, and that was reversed by the Honorable High Court of Madras. So till the time there is any decision that comes and overturns this or anything of that nature happens, there is a geo-block as far as Karnataka is concerned. With regards to the contribution, as far as Adda is concerned, I don't think we have a contribution more than about 7, 8, 10% at best on this. But I think over a period of time that gets settled. So it's not a large number that we are looking at from Karnataka at this point of time.
Got it. And there was some precedent where similar thing happened in another state, and that was overturned by the court.
I just mentioned about Tamil Nadu High Court.
Yeah. So we would expect this to be overturned as well, right?
I can't give a judgment on behalf of the High Courts, but ultimately it's courts to decide. But going by the precedences, what happened in Tamil Nadu, what happened in Kerala, one could make an assumption on that.
Sure. And just lastly, on the margins on the online business, they look a little lower than history. So what's happening there, and any guidance there for the future?
Like I told you, we were in the phase of regrouping, refocusing, rebranding, and repackaging the whole online gaming play. We have now the multi-gaming platform that we have launched along with the Rummy, which we are focusing on. So there are spends happening there. The marketing spends are happening there to attract more people as far as those gaming portals are concerned, which will act as a funnel to get more people onto the poker platform. So when you increase your marketing spend, sales promotion, bonus activities, obviously the pressure is going to come on the margins. But these are all temporary measures, because eventually when the growth does kick in, all these things will go back to normal.
Got it. On the core poker business, have we seen any impact on the margin? Just the poker platform?
Standalone poker is doing as fine as it was doing. So there is not too much of a difference on the poker, whether it is in terms of revenue or in terms of on the margins.
Got it. Okay, that's it from me. Thanks, Hardik.
Thank you. As there are no further questions, I now hand the conference over to Mr. Hardik Debar for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
I think we had a very detailed and very interesting discussion on this call, and I think I have been able to answer the questions to the best of my ability and to the satisfaction of whoever asked those questions. Like I said, we await a good quarter in the offing, given the trajectory and the traction that we have seen. And with all the prayers and wishes of everyone that there is no third wave and there are no other disruptions for any businesses, let alone our gaming and hospitality business, but for any businesses, we believe and we are hopeful that we will have a robust third quarter and a fourth quarter and future years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Antique Stock Broking, that concludes this conference. Thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.